Welcome or welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Shika, your medicine woman, and today I'm going to be going over what you need to know about this Gemini new moon that is happening on June 18th, 2023. In this video, I'm going to be going over exactly what to expect for this Gemini new moon, as well as pulling cards, channeling any messages for you personally and the collective. And I'm really excited. It's going to be really chill, relaxed, hang out with you guys. I'm actually in my space right now in my new home, and I haven't yet created it just yet. So this is the easiest corner that I can create a temple and an energy grid for you guys. But I really can't wait to share the tour with you guys because I feel like it's just such an important room. So yeah, I'm really excited. Before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bell so you don't miss a video. I do these videos every month for you loves, a new moon, full moons. I know I've been really doing that the most lately, energy updates and energy healing. Really my intention for you here is for you to work your life around nature and moons and plants and everything, because we are part of nature. So if that is something that you feel like coming back to nature and healing yourself, then this is definitely a space for you while having community and connecting and all the things. Then I would love to have you guys introduce yourself with a rainbow emoji. I've been loving reading your introductions, and a couple other couple other announcements that I have for you guys. The first thing is we do have a Gemini new moon breathwork ceremony. This is my last ceremony, guys, for a while, as I am making my way down with my teachers down in Peru. So it's a very special one, and I would love to see you there. It's going to be a 3-hour ceremony at 3 p.m. Eastern time till 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be guiding you through a breath work. We'll have an integration circle, an opening ceremony, a closing ceremony, and this breath work is so potent. I feel like it's just as potent as plant medicine. So if you've been feeling called to heal together in community with the intention of the energy updates of this Gemini new moon, then come and join. You can sign up down below. And for those of you who've went to my Sagittarius full moon one already, you actually get a little extra treat. So just email me and let me know that you've gone, and then I will give you an extra surprise. And lastly is my goddess retreat. So applications are actually closing mid of June. So I am really excited to have this retreat. It starts on August 14th. It's a beautiful retreat that's happening in Lisbon, Lisboa, an hour away from Lisboa, Lisbon, and it is in Valdemont, which is a beautiful place outside of Lisboa. Retreat center, family owned. And if you've been feeling called to connect with your, your goddess energy, your essence of being that goddess, your feminine energy, working with the template of your ancestral lineage, 37 generations before and 37 forward, this is going to be a really potent space. We're doing plant medicine ceremony. We'll be doing deep revelations. You are literally rebirthing yourself in these days together. We are in a very beautiful, powerful portal where this lands are located. So if you would like to apply, let me know down below. I would love to have you there. Lastly is my one-on-ones. If you're interested in one-on-one, please email me. I'm either going to be having sessions before June, and if not, I can put you on the waiting list when I get back. So that is it. Let's get into this energy update with you guys. I am really excited for this one. Gemini new moon is really reflecting on collective. It's reflecting on relationships. It's reflecting on community. It's reflecting on all of those aspects of our life, and I'm really excited for it. Like, I'm really looking forward to chatting with you guys more about it. So the first thing I want to talk about with this Gemini new moon that's happening on June 18th, 2023, 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after, is this Gemini new moon. And if you are a Gemini, let me know down below, where does it place in your chart? It's about spontaneous plans of manifestations that are going to ripple into your life. this time, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, it's almost like we're getting these unexpected invitations. Like you might be invited to a social event unexpectedly and you were expecting to stay at home and relax, and now you're like invited to this thing, and it's almost like a sign of like, yes, do it, because this is going to be really powerful. It's going to shift your energy, making you feel more positive. And maybe for some of you that are introverts, like myself, it's really nice to have community. It's really nice to have these spaces where you can be social. So it's definitely talking about rippling some, manifestations that will happen in your life. I find invitation keeps coming up when I sit with Gemini New Moon. It's like this new beginning of invitations to new spaces, new people, new connections. And it's exciting. Like it truly is exciting, because you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. I love this. This is awesome. Yeah, I just feel like it's so cool. The lighting's kind of bothering me. I'm gonna move you guys slightly. Don't mind the background. I like the shading, but I was just like, I can't really see you guys. But yeah, I think it's one of the biggest things with this one is Gemini is really talking about how are we being open to invitations in our life, socially. And we keep saying that we feel lonely, but it's like, you have to be open to new relationships in order for you to not feel lonely anymore. And you can't just sit here, and it's not fair for you to assume that person is not open the way that you want them to be if you're not allowing yourself to be in these environments and taking the responsibility to create those boundaries within yourself to feel safe in your energetic field. But you never know till you try, right? So that's one of the biggest things that are coming up, is like, you never know till you try, allowing yourself to see these ripples and manifestations and invitations in your life during this new moon in Gemini, and where you can ask yourself through those invitations where you need to invite yourself deeper into new experiences. The next thing you need to know about this Gemini New Moon in June 18th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is this brings us to really ask ourselves and fully open to receive, if not, and why not. So for those of you who have a hard time receiving, and I really resonate with this because I had a really hard time. I remember I had a client and they got me this beautiful sound bowl. Oh my God, I just was in tears. I was like, what? It took me so long to receive this sound bowl that this client has given me, because they wanted me to have this gift after the healing that they've received and the work that we've done together. And I just didn't want to receive it because I felt like I wasn't worthy enough to receive such a gift, right? So for me to reject their love tells a lot about how I reject love in myself. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is why a lot of people, when we talk about victimhood and all those things, because I had this conversation, this interesting interaction with someone the other day about victimhood, and like, oh, I feel like a victim and I feel like da-da-da. And I was like, yeah, but everyone's interactions and words are mirrors of ourselves and them, right? So when we're talking about receiving, when you have a hard time receiving, you are then putting the energy on that person. And this is not to blame, but this is just how energy works with law of attraction and everything. You are now making them feel like they have to question why they can't give love and receive love too, right? And the same goes to you. So when you do find yourself having a hard time receiving, your partner having a hard time receiving, a friend, a gift, someone helping you out with something like the groceries or whatever it may have you, ask yourself, when was that time in your life where you made a promise to yourself not to receive and to rely on someone else? And when we use the word rely, we think we're powerless. We think that something's wrong with us, that we're weak, that we're failure. These words come up in our patterning because of experiences we've had. Usually this happens to the inner child that had to grow up quickly. So the gift that Gemini New Moon is giving us a new beginning of receiving. How can we receive ourselves more, receive love more, and be open to receiving? And if not, having these spontaneous invitations, whether it's events, words, perspectives in our life during the Gemini New Moon, kind of have a heart opening effect on us. And when that happens, we are not only healing ourselves and the version of us that carry that pattern for so long, we are then creating a new path of receiving, a new path of our journey. So really, if you can write down this shadow work prompt, why do I find it so hard to receive in my life and in my relationships? And if you can really tune into that and then come from a space of recognizing it with compassion and love, and then moving forward and saying, okay, where can I go from here? How can I take little baby steps to receive a little bit more? Because if I was that person giving a gift, how would I feel rejected by that gift, you know? So this is really deep, but it's beautiful because, again, I feel like I always give you guys shadow work stuff to do, because there's always work to do within ourselves, but not in a way that we need to perfect ourselves. I had a comment that I read the other day of someone, oh, this makes me feel like I'm getting this much closer to perfection. And I'm like, it's not perfection. Words are so important. Words are spells. Spelling is the spells that we cast in ourselves, right? The words that we say in ourselves, our words last for generations in our DNA. So when we can tap into the Gemini New Moon, it's understanding, you know, how can we receive the new energy of our words, receive the new essence, the new frequency of our words, and say, how am I going to receive that and change that template even deeper? Ooh, went deep. The next thing to know about the Gemini New Moon that's happening on June 18th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is it's a great time to share ideas, dreams, fulfillment with your close familia. You know, you guys know I call you familia because I know it's going to resonate if you're on email list, fam. And this is something that took me a while to understand. There is a difference. You need to know who to share things with and who not to. And not in a bad way, but it's just that there's some people that the things you're sharing will not be a priority to them, or they don't know how to hold it or respect it. And it's nothing against that person, but it's the truth, right? So I'll give you an example. Like sometimes you may have a dream to do something in, with your career. And that career is something so passionate. It's an extension of your soul expression, your soul purpose of why you came here. But a lot of people who may not be able to see it or may not be able to receive it, and it doesn't matter if they see it, honestly, because that doesn't matter. But it's the ability for us to know which people can appreciate it and respect it. And those are the spaces that we want to bring it there for encouragement, right? It's like a little kid going to school and saying, I love my shoes, they look so beautiful. And one kid says, oh my gosh, you look amazing, you can just walk that catwalk, and is cheering them on. And another kid is going down and saying, oh my gosh, these shoes are ugly, and da, da, da. But that's a reflection of them in reflecting it back to you, right? It's their hurt being a projection to them. They don't know how to, because that's the response they're used to receiving from other people. Big boom. So with the Gemini New Moon, it's understanding, you know, how can we come together in community and celebrate? I'm going to go back to the word community because this is the word for the Gemini New Moon. Come back together and cheer ourselves on. Think of the people who are the same frequency of your higher self. Those are the people that Gemini New Moon is reminding you to keep close and keep striving with. Keep working together. Keep being open with those people, because those are the people that are going to help you alongside with you understand your dreams, the person that you're going to bounce ideas with, the person that you're going to really have there that's going to be your cheerleader. And we don't have to do it alone, right? Yes, you have to believe in your dream 100%. You can't be, dependent, have a dependent relationship on that person cheering you on. But I can say that it does give us a big boost when we have someone on our corner saying, hey, you got this, on the days when we want to give up. So this is where it's really helpful to have friends and family members, and you don't have to have many. I have like 2 people that I share all the things with, and the shifts and the expansions and all the stuff that I do, but that's it. I don't need any more. I don't need any less. And that feels really, really good for me. So I just want to share that with you guys, because I think that was something that took me a while. I just thought I needed to have all the people to support me, and there's just, people are going to support you differently in different ways. 1, 2, not everyone's not going to understand you. Gemini New Moon is like, hey, let's celebrate those who can. Let's find the community and the familia that can, right? And just allowing ourselves also to receive in those spaces, to be open in these spaces, because those people can be there all your life. But if you're not willing to receive them and they're not willing to receive you, then you lose the purpose of what you both are here to help accomplish in this lifetime, this earth plane. Love it. Not really living the light though. Okay, let's move. Let's keep moving the stuff. Okay, the next thing you need to know about this Gemini new moon that's happening on June 18th of 2023 is that tracking energy where you feel uncomfortable being seen and what is the patterning that is coming through. So when you are in these sharing spaces, notice where you feel uncomfortable and notice where maybe you hesitate to share your voice, share your thoughts, share your dreams, and come into ask yourself, where have I felt unsafe to do so? Excuse me, and where can I find safetyness in myself to receive and to manifest from this energy? A lot of the times we're rejecting ourselves, you know, this is a big thing with Geminis. Like Gemini new moon is like starting to have a new journey of receiving ourselves. You know, it's about more than us. It's not just about me, because that's the ego, but it's also understanding, okay, I need to understand myself a little bit through other people and through other conversations. If we're in isolation all our life and we're kind of just complaining that we don't have people to connect with and people that align with us, then we are choosing to be outside of the world. We are choosing to be outsiders, and dreamers need to dream together. That's the biggest thing, especially in this world. So this is a very big thing that I'm going to talk about in collective, which brings me to the next point. And I don't usually go over this in energy updates, but this is really impactful and it's coming up in conversations and channeling. And this is why I've decided to channel this message at this time. I hope you guys can see me, by the way, with the lighting, because it's like the sun's going down right now. Co-creation of community is what is coming for the collective. And a lot of you are receiving downloads of what that looks like. Can I just say that the amount of messages I have been receiving of like, one, us as a collective, as an earth, as the shift that is going on in this world, we need to start looking and connecting with other people in alignment, which means that sometimes we're going to have a next divide that's happening, that's going to happen throughout the summer. Similar to what we had 3 years ago when the whole world decided to shut down, what we had, and I'm just sharing this in love, what we had is a divide. The people who are willing to change and the people who are willing to stay and just kind of put a band-aid on everything and not really go into it and be curious and see what's here, see what we need to change in ourselves and around us. And what we're having with co-creation of community is understanding that this isn't about you. And this is a big thing. This is a humbling lesson for me. Is Gemini New Moon is like, it's not about you. It's not about making the bills and paying and getting the income and getting the house and getting the car. Like, if you're here for the biggest shift that's going to happen on this earth plane, you're here beyond just about you. It's about everything else outside, and it's about how you're connected to the collective energetic field, because you are a string connected to absolutely everything. The more we can go from that space, we go in a more heart-centered space in our essence, in our purpose, in our everyday ceremony, because life is the ceremony at the end of the day. The healing, the retreats are great, but it's life that I always tell all the people I hold space for is the ceremony. So I want you to really sit with yourself and say, what does co-creating community look like? You guys can even share and in the space in the comments. I would love to hear that, because this is something behind the scenes I'm not even sharing with you guys. There's some big things that are coming up for us, for you, for me, for everyone connected. And we need to start looking at that. You know, that might look like, okay, what are the things that you're noticing that become priorities in your life? For me, it's been the food I've been eating. It's been nature. It's been the water I drink. It's been my sleep. It's been laughter. It's been dancing. It's been singing. It's been joy. Those have been priorities for me to feel an alignment in my heart center. So I need to go connect with other communities like that and be around people like that. So I'm putting myself out there to receive, even in communities that I'm not usually found to be attracted to, and just being open to learn. And the more that I can do that, I'm noticing, okay, what does that community look like? Because I'm actually venturing out, staying curious to look outside. And then when I can do that, I can find other people who want to co-create. We're seeing this right now with the collective. Gemini New Moon is going to have an orchestration of different people that are meant to come to community together, that are meant to explore and expand. You're going to see, you're already seeing it, a lot of people just creating more conscious communities. You know, so it's like understanding what does that look like, manifesting, speaking that, even if right now your reality doesn't seem to support it right now, start speaking it anyways, because the moment you start doing that, you're giving it permission to fall through into your reality. But if you keep on getting attached to it, just like any manifestation, then what the Gemini New Moon is going to teach you is like, this is the manifestation, the ripple that you have created for your life. Right? So there's a lot of positivity that is open to receive during this new moon in Gemini, and a lot of new beginnings, but you have to be willing to receive it. And that comes with the community, your environment, all of that. These people who are trickling in, these people you're connecting with 3 days before the day of and 3 days after of this energy of Gemini is going to support you so much deeper. It's bringing light to the end of the tunnel. The next thing you need to know about this Gemini new moon is that what would community look like if you were to just do it? Like, what would it look like? I can tell you right now, it would look like for me, beautiful lands and people coming together and eating fresh organic food and dancing and singing, and I can go on and on, but that's what it would look like for me. So it's like, what would that look like for you? And if you'd like to share, I'd love to hear in the comments down below what that looks like for you guys, because the more you keep that dream alive, the more the energy will funnel through from the universe, from the orchestration of everything around to support you. And this is where this Gemini new moon is opening us up. I do want to also remind you guys, in 2 months we have Lionsgate. This is the preparation of the biggest day of manifestation for us to open the gates to something deeper. So it starts now before August 8th. And can I just say it's the 18th? There's an 8 there, so they're connected. So whatever we need to start right now is going to be rippling up until August, all the way to September. So really ask yourself, what is the environment that I want? What is the community that I want? What are the manifestations I want? What are the people I want to connect with? What are the relationships that I want to really prioritize in my life in the next 4 months? Write that down. What are the relationships that I want to prioritize, including with myself, in the next 4 months? What does that look like? What does that feel like? The next thing you need to know about this Gemini new moon is that, remember, your thoughts become your emotions and your emotions become your thoughts. So in other words, they are not disconnected. If you feel something, there is a thought, even if you decide to go down the road and it dissipates, right? That's why we talk about subconscious. That's why we talk about shadow work. So Gemini new moon, because it's such a manifesting energy, it's such a rippling energy, it's such a positive energy. It's like, sometimes when we get a whole bunch of love, I love seeing videos of this on TikTok where you see people and they get a surprise birthday party and they don't know what to do with the love. They just start crying because they're like, oh my gosh, I've never felt this love. It's a heart-opening experience. That's the energy that I see with Gemini new moon. It's like, what can you do if someone were to give you the most love and everywhere from every person in the world and it was just shined on you? Would you be able to receive it, or would you feel guilty? Would you feel uncertain? Would you be able to receive your community? Would you be able to receive the support? And for a lot of us, including myself at some times, where I would reject that support because I thought I didn't need it, that I could do it myself, or that I wasn't worthy to receive it, or I needed to owe that person something. That was a big one for me. I owe that person something because you did something good for me, so now I owe you. But it's like, do I still trust the good in humanity, even though we're in the shadow of some things as well? So it's like being that light, which is kind of rippling it from the Sagittarius full moon, being that light, that power. And because we've stepped into our power from the full moon in Sagittarius that just passed, now we're seeing these people in the same energy of our power coming in. And some of you might be like, oh my God, this person's like pretty, like, whew, how did I attract this person? But it's like, that's you, that's connected to your higher self. Like, we are celebrating that. And for others, we might be like, whoa, why are you attracting this person? Well, maybe there is a part of you that is not fully receiving from the heart, like fully, as much as you want to listen to all the affirmations, meditations, listen to this video. It's like, you got to feel it. You got to feel it. And then the thought will show you the truth. And you have to, that's the biggest thing, right? The feeling is the truth. The thought is a story. The feeling is the truth, the thought is the story. So if you're feeling like you want to manifest something or you want to create something, that is what keeps going. The thought is what we really understand. What are the stories we've created about ourselves and the world around us? And that is what's the block of community. Boom. That's the end of the video. That's it. Thanks, guys. Okay, no, literally, that is the biggest thing. Your emotion is the biggest thing, and your thought is just your stories. Do the thoughts mean anything? Absolutely nothing. But the human, we've created this kind of system to think that it needs to mean something. Why? That's for you to go into. I'll leave it there for you. Okay, so just really understanding that there's no separation, and we really need to balance and harmonize during this new moon in Gemini. And the last thing I want to cover is that powerful visions may come into the creation of the future and the heart-led. Let me just tell you guys something. This Gemini new moon is going to bring you guys some deep, deep euphoric emotions where it feels deja vu, where it feels like, whoa, what is going on? And it's because it's between the two worlds of receiving in the deepest energy of love and leaving that behind to step into something deeper. Now, this is like, new moons are all about new beginnings, it's new intentions, it's setting new habits, right? Full moons are endings. So it's like, because they were so close together, I find them pretty close. The full moon in Sagittarius and also the new moon in Gemini, they're quite close. I find each season is close. So we're kind of ending that season of Sagittarius and we're stepping into the co-creation of our power. And I want to go into intention and prayer. And if you don't resonate with prayer, intention is everything, right? If you hold that, you will see miracles happen beyond anything you've ever witnessed in your life. So my question to you is, how powerful are your intentions or prayers? And if your intentions and prayers are powerful and they match your emotion, the thought and the stories that are not in alignment will dissolve. And if it doesn't, then there's something that is not fully true within that emotion that you're looking at. The emotion's true, but what is the story that isn't true that you need to look at? So it's really understanding those ebbs and flows of our truth and our being and who we are. Because at the end of the day, the heart leads absolutely everything. And this isn't fluffy BS, like this is the truth. The heart leads everything. And I know sometimes our heart brings us to grief, to tenderness, to anger, but that is truth because it's trying to purge out that energy. And that, going back to tracking energy, that discomfort, when we can track it and not bypass it or just push it aside, we're giving ourselves permission to look at what is the lesson that's here so we can repattern it. And that's what Gemini New Moon is like. Our biggest priority for this Gemini New Moon is how am I going to repattern my reactions or my way of receiving responses to my outside world, to my environment, to my relationships, and look at the shadow that wants to keep going and running in the victimhood, and instead just finally receive the joy, the love, and the heart that is here on the other side of it. Because yes, we have shadow work to do, but it's also understanding that we can have joy along those periods of time while we're working on ourselves, right? Because if we don't do that, then we constantly think that we have to fix something and that we're moving through a space of perfection, which does not exist. So I think I'm gonna leave it there before we get into card readings with you guys. Let me know what's popping, what's coming up for you guys. Let's pull out some cards for this Gemini New Moon. I'm gonna pull out a few for you guys. I have you guys know these are my OG cards. This is my ancestor deck. I didn't bring, it's all the way over there, so I guess it wasn't meant to be, and then I also have my Wisdom of the Oracle. I know I get these questions all the time. These cards are so old. They've been with me for a while, but I like to pull them out. So these are the cards that we're gonna do. I haven't looked at them. I'm gonna actually turn them around with you guys. And then my last deck, which I'm gonna pull one out because they're quite elaborate. And pretty dense as well. I just find one card out of this deck is good if you ever consider yourself buying them. I am no sponsor, I'm just sharing because I like this deck. It's a new deck I got. It's the Lightworker deck, and I actually got this recently about 2 months ago, and it's been really nice. But they are pretty deep. Like, I feel like I go on a journey just reading one of them. So I'm just gonna keep you guys with one of them. Just breathing into your heart. Seeing what's alive for you as we're here together. And again, if you haven't signed up for the Gemini New Moon, I would love to see you there at the breathwork. And if you haven't gotten yourself a lunar planner, it's a 12-month digital planner that is very helpful. It's only $22. You can get all of that down below. I'd highly suggest it, guys. We are exactly halfway through the year. This is the time. This is the time to create community. This is the time to make your dreams come true. And the inner child in me and you is just like happy for this one. Okay. Ooh, we got some big ones, guys. So these are simple cards. My leg's kind of getting asleep, so almost time to end the video. So winter, take care of your needs. I love this card. This is Wolf. Anyone connect with Wolf, let me know down below. But this is definitely a very powerful one. Can I just say, does anyone know the main message of wolf or coyote? It's community. And I just said everything with community. So wolf means like you are a pack. You know, the alone wolf expression, you feel alone, but really you are all in one journey and you howl together in the essence. I just got goosebumps. In the collective essence of your being. So it's like, take care of your needs. Don't be afraid to ask your community and people around you and the relationships in your life for help. Even if the stubbornness version of you or the version of you that wants to do it yourself comes through, it's like, come back to, where do I need to hibernate a little bit and come back to myself? This is another great thing about community. Why I feel like conscious community is the future is because this is where we're going to be able to have support from one another. And when we're feeling tired or we need that break, there are other people around this space that can help each other out, because you are me and I am you. And that's really the simpleness of it. Like at the end of the day, we're all in this journey together. We all have different stories and circumstances, but we are all similar. We're all the same. We all do the same things, right? Sky Father, and unfortunately this world tries to separate us. Just felt called to say that. There's so many things of separation, and it's like Gemini New Moon's like, no, we're not going to follow that. We're not going to go into separation and the conditioning that we have in our life to prevent us from coming together. And that comes from everything from politics to religions to race to childhoods to financial circumstances. These are all the systems that are in our everyday life, to our water, like everything, absolutely everything. And this is why I always say, like, reflect to you, what is important to you and your future, as far as life of freedom, feeling free, feeling aligned, feeling supported. And that's what's going to help you flourish, love. Sky Father. So this is definitely conscious connection, connecting with the Father Sky. So trust the unknown. Trust the unknown. This is Eagle, so full perspective. Father energy. Trust the unknown to create and orchestrate what it needs to do for you to flourish, for you to receive what you need. The moment you do that, everything will just come out. Your manifestations will ripple, like I said, right? Then you got 2 cards here. By the way, we have 5 cards, which is change. Can I just say this? Rippling of change is going to happen in the Gemini New Moon. Time to go. So it's like time to let go. It's time to take the leap. It's time to focus on the bigger picture. And I want you to ask yourself, what is the bigger picture here? Why are these manifestations rippling in my life? For a bigger picture, a bigger answer. And you're going to get that, because Father Sky card is telling you you're going to get a channel message that's going to be profound, and it's going to ripple in the 3D for you. And you're like, whoa, okay. It's just going to be like, and that, but you need to be present to see it. Fork in the road. There is going to be some decisions you're going to have with some of your relationships. Maybe once you decide what is important to you in community and in family and in life and in your ceremony of life, you're going to notice that there's certain things that just don't fit, and they're going to just dissolve on their own. You don't even have to do the work. You know why? Because you've done the work already. So now Gemini New Moon is just like, okay, now we just need you to commit to this new picture of the reality you've created. Any star seeds here? Let me know with the star emoji. This is specifically for you. Let me just say, each and every single one of our souls are stars that have fallen onto earth. And we've fallen onto earth for a specific purpose, and that purpose is never forgotten. But through the clutter of this world and the separation and the pain, we forget why we're here. And Gemini New Moon is the little star magic that you need in order to remind you to those new intentions, these new patternings for you to commit to why you're here. This card is beautiful. It's just really saying that we are all connected to the universe. We are all star families and star seeds. And we need to really look at our water. This is a message I've been getting collectively that I'm going to share that is not only just Gemini, new moon, this is everything, is that we need to protect the water. If you live near water, if you are near any water, I highly suggest you looking at water and being aware of what's going on in the world. There's a big shift of water right now, clean waters, and also just water's drying up. The Dead Sea is completely dried up, if anyone doesn't know that. Lots of other organizations, you know, shifting our water and what's in our water, tap water. So it's like, how can we protect the water for us in nature as a community? Look at our elements. Nature is the first thing we see to really show the truth of what's going on in the world. So starseed is love. Come back to your why. Come back to, and it's an 8. Again, August 8, guys. Mark that in your calendar for the Lion's Gate. The light of the stars exists in you. The earth wants you to share that light with humanity. You are asked to understand that you are meant to be here, that you are a spiritual work to accomplish. Give up the idea that you do not belong somewhere else, to another home in the stars. Instead, let the starlight of your inner being shine here, an earth where it shall make such a positive difference in the world. Fall in love with the earth's beauty. She can be in such support all the way. So I just want to say that for a lot of us that have felt that we did not belong, this is a beautiful time to live, because right now more than ever, conscious community is coming together, and this is what Gemini New Moon's bringing us, is like, here is the time for us to make the earth the way we want it. We can either sit here and complain about what shadows are in the world and what's against us, or we can come together and become much more powerful. And that's what Gemini New Moon is all about. And if that's something that you resonate with, highly would suggest you guys coming to the retreats. I have 2 that's happening this year, and follow YouTube, like put notification bells, because there's some big announcements coming up in November. So put yourself on the email list, especially if you love community, if you want to learn more about light work and what you're meant to do with your purpose, and come to the Goddess Retreat, loves. Message me. There's a special surprise I'm going to be sharing in community. So if you would like to come, it closes close to the end of June. So you can apply down below, fill out the Google form. I'll send you a message if I feel like you're a good alignment for acceptance. And then we also have the Ancestral Retreat, Untold Stories. It's happening at end of November. That one is still open. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This was fun to hang out with you and just chill, even though the sun was like moving. I was like kind of dodging it, but we got it. I feel like the lighting's good now, but that's life, right? We flow with it. We flow with the ripples. But let me know what resonated with you guys down below in the comment section. Love to read your comments. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share this video with a friend. Yeah, share with your familia, because it helps the channel. I think it would really help this channel, so this word, these channels, these messages of the highest light go to as many people as possible. So do share. You can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, Chica. I'm all over there. And yeah, this is really great. And again, if you feel it called, come to the Gemini New Moon breathwork that's happening on June 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. You can sign up down below. And I also have my retreats and my one-on-ones. You can email me. I love you all so much. Happy Gemini New Moon. I'm sending you so much love, community, unity, love, and expansion. And know that you are here for a deeper purpose of Earth, and I'm so grateful that you are. Bye.